Sandeep Unnithan, on what was used in this instance, because huge unmanned drones are not what we saw. These are very crude drones, very light drones, and yet somehow mercifully they were not able to hit the target, which seemed to have been the helicopter that was parked close by. What details do you have about, by speaking to officers in the security establishment, about what was the motive? Is this them testing their capabilities? Is this a failed terror attack? And about the nature of the drone that was used and the explosives that were attached to it. Sandeep.
Well, Rahul, firstly, the drone seems to have been a smaller drone, or possibly a quadcopter of the kind that are commercially available off the shelf. But what is interesting here is that the payload, the explosive that it was carrying, appears to have been very sophisticated. And military engineers, sappers who studied the bomb damage pictures suggest that this was actually a shaped charge that was used. Because if you see the way a 6-inch slab of concrete had been punched through, that is the kind of explosive force that is delivered by a shaped charge. So it's, if you're looking at drone operators who have the ability to mount conventional shaped charges on commercially available drones, then the game completely changes. Then you're not dealing with a bunch of amateurs. You're dealing with someone who has access to military technologies and weapons and explosives, and it opens up a whole new world of possibilities of the kind of targets that can be hit by these. And Rahul, this is not something new, that the government has always known of this fact. At least 2 years back, there was a committee of the Bureau of Civil Aviation and Security which sat down and identified counter-drone technologies, because they knew that an attack of this kind was, it was only a matter of time before it, unfolded. And this is exactly what seemed to have happened. But, regrettably, our technology has not been deployed in the field as yet. We have instances of, one or two government agencies. The NSG has a couple of these, counter-drone technologies, but they've not been deployed in a way that, inspires confidence, especially around your vital areas, vital establishments.
But how much would it cost, Sandeep, if we were to establish this anti-drone technology at our various air bases? But where do you go? Do you go to an Air Force air base? Do you go to airports? But they could just pick some other target. Given the sheer number of high-value installations, how much would it cost to set up some kind of a security mechanism to cope with these drones?
Well, Rahul, again, this is something that, the government has to kind of decide what is the figure that they want to put aside for security, because the sky is the limit. You cannot end up protecting every single base and installation. They have to look at a certain amount of vital areas like, airports, air bases and all that, which are very close to these, close to the international border and the line of control. So at least you have a basic defensive setup. And because what we are seeing in J&K and along the LC is something like what we saw about more than 20 years back, when the first wave of Fidayeen attackers, if you remember, Rahul, started hitting various military bases. So this is the new level of warfare that we've graduated onto, and it's only a matter of time before this becomes more widely proliferated, and with the kind of sophistication of drones that are coming in. They're becoming smaller, they're able to carry heavier payloads. So, it's opening up the country to a whole new, form of irregular warfare, gray zone warfare, you can call it whatever, but the threat is very real and staring at us in the face.
Okay, so what